biscuits in my air fryer that'll go off in probably like 15 minutes.
That's all good.
And I'll add some cheese to it because that's what I got right now.
Okay.
Dude, I heard some crazy stuff today about biscuits. Let me tell you, apparently you can make it like texture-wise and taste like chicken.
I see what's happening.
I watched it. It was very confusing.
All right, chat. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to stream the podcast here, and then I'll upload to YouTube. Because, honestly, that's just going to be easier than me trying to figure this out at the moment. But before I do that, I do need to put an announcement out on Twitter that I'm doing that.
Blaze is like, it's too much work. We're just going to...
No, it's because like I don't want to go through the browser, set up virtual camera through the browser, then have to go through that. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. Like, it's just no point.
Always the camera. Ooh, oh, ow, ow. Sun's out. Yeah, Blaze sitting there. I got one game left. Oh, cool. So I have like at least 20 minutes. 10 minutes.
It was 20
later.
minutes. It was 20 minutes. Was that not?
Like 20 minutes.
Well, that was definitely a 20-minute game. It felt like a 20-minute game.
No. That's only because you were in action 24/7.
I mean, that's true.
You were in like PUBG mode. I hear gunshots. What? Head to it.
That's okay, game or Twitter. I refuse to call this X, by the way.
I refuse to call it X too.
I had to figure out if my iPad or my iPhone downloaded something that I didn't want when I saw that come up. It's like, what the heck is X?
That's too funny. All right. Let me pull the bot in, and then we will be good to go. I need to put a marker down so I can make sure to go back and edit this on Twitch and then do all that fun stuff.
Oh, no.
What's up?
I can't unsee this now, and I'm going to have to share with you guys.
Oh, Jesus. I don't... Do I... No.
I'll put in host chat.
All right, the bot is here.
Now recording.
Craig bot has arrived. What is this? Oh my god.
Big 10.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, that's too good.
The new Big 10 map.
That is too funny.
That is kind of funny.
Okay. Can you both y'all talk or like one at a time real quick? Just like make sure on stream side it's good.
I guess
first.
I will lead that.
Okay, that's good.
And I mean, I already kind of started talking, so I'm going to keep talking there for a second so you can
You're
do
good.
whatever you got to do and all that stuff, you know?
You're good. Give me 1 second. I'm just adjusting to make sure because I always get told after like being 10 minutes in that's off. Okay, now that's you.
What's up? Is it
All right,
working out? Sounds.
Yeah, I think we're good. Chat, is that good on your guys' end as far as sound goes? Or am I too loud still? I might be too loud still.
Yeah, Blaze, everything's fine.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Anyways, are we ready, gentlemen?
Yeah. Wait, do we have a choice?
As I'll ever be.
Okay. All right. Welcome everybody to Up Your Experience podcast, episode 120, baby. 120, and it's the Streamiversary weekend. We're live here on Twitch tonight. This will get posted to YouTube as well. But tonight, Bats is with us. Bats, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
Majin, are you still here?
Yeah, my camera decided to die.
Okay, then that would explain it. I was like, hey, do you know Majin isn't on the Twitch feed?
Yeah, I watched his camera go crazy there for a second, and I was like, oh no.
Oh,
It's all good, though.
literally, Kenny, like classic Majin camera. Like it cannot get any more better than that.
I mean,
it didn't do it last time.
Would it be a Majin podcast if there wasn't a technical difficulty? Because whenever you're a guest, something goes wrong, whether it's a cat jumping on the computer
Every
or
time.
something. Yeah, you know. It'd be like that sometimes.
Every time, my dude. I don't know. This is crazy. Why is it? Let me.
Oh,
Hi.
It's okay.
Gives me a moment.
It's okay. I can vamp for a second. It's okay.
Yeah,
if you
that's
wanna,
cool.
if you wanna deal with camera things,
I'm investigating.
It's all good. This is a great start, and that's okay. So it's Streamiversary weekend, chat and listeners, which means I have been playing games because I didn't play games all week because I'm back at work, and the work schedule's been crazy between just getting back in the classroom and doing teacher in service. We had like a 12-hour day with orientation and then classes that were back. And then I've been going crazy with cross country and yard work. So it's been a busy week. I'm happy to be back to gaming. We've had a good couple nights of gaming. We had some good scrims tonight. So we'll talk about that in a bit, I'm sure. And Majin's camera's working now, so I can quit vamping, these are things I would have brought up anyway, so it's fun. But the real important note in that we really need to talk about before I go any further with the podcast is that Bats bought pair of Thieves clothing and loves it, which means I was right. And pair of Thieves, I'm not sponsored.
I'm wearing it now.
But the amount of money Bats spent on pair of Thieves, I shall not divulge. Okay,
hey,
but
you know,
I feel like
on sale.
It was all on sale, just like me. It was all on sale. But I'm just saying, like, maybe a sponsorship needs to be in the works here.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
Maybe like 25% off Parody's Nuts code or something like that.
Something, dude. Like it is. I don't know, dude. It's so comfy. I actually ran in mine really this morning, and it was comfy. But
like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I was telling Blaze, they feel like they're fancy clothes.
Yeah,
and they're really not. So I washed them all separate from every other clothes that I have because I don't want to mess them up.
I gotcha.
No, they're just comfy, dude.
Because it does say like you have to like dry them on like low or delicate tumble or some crap like that.
I should probably read more. I don't really dry on like high level of heat anyway. What I do want to point out, the reason I brought this up, so I ordered this one and I didn't realize it had a smiley face on the front when I bought it because I thought what's on the back is on the front, but what's on the back, and this is sick. This is for suicide awareness, and as we've talked about multiple times here on the podcast, I'm a big advocate of mental health awareness. But this is like their Never Alone shirt, which you can kind of see. But at the bottom, check this out. It actually has the helpline number on the shirt, and that's dope.
I love that.
So shout outs to them for that because I think that's just a nice little touch.
I have an order pending.
Okay, well. You should finish that.
They have it. What is it? Back to school.
Yeah.
And I'm getting ready to go back to school. How about that?
Oh, I already did. Majin.
Yo.
Football's back, baby.
Yes, it is. I'm so excited. So happy about that.
I am too. Even though the Minnesota Vikings lost their preseason game the other day, which was travesty, but that's okay.
Preseason doesn't matter. When Ravens go 26-0 in their last 26 and they never reach a point on the season where it could be a championship caliber, then it doesn't matter. It's just like the Raiders also for like 3 years in the late 2000s would go like undefeated or 4-1 or 3-1 in the preseason, and then they would just like lose everything. So it's just like it doesn't matter. It's just for player development. Like that's all that's for. Like it doesn't show like coaches aren't using like their schemes, they're not showing like the setups, they're just doing basic generic stuff that's not gonna get caught out on tape until they actually start playing the games for real.
I just find it funny because I was reading the Star Tribune for Minnesota Vikings, and it's like, well, they're not gonna go undefeated in preseason this year. I'm like, who cares? Like, are there people that there's people out there, no joke, that legitimately care about preseason football?
You know who those people are?
No. People that have losing teams?
Gamblers. Degenerate gamblers.
You're probably not wrong there on that.
Like, not even I care that much.
No, I just think it's funny. Tennessee Titans are getting a new stadium, and I find that appalling because I can't stand the Tennessee Titans. And what's really weird about this Tennessee Titans debacle, because I live in Tennessee, and it's worth mentioning this, they are building the new stadium next to the current stadium in the parking lot, and then they're going to demolish the current stadium, is what I've been told. And that just seems backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to. Somebody else did that though. I'm trying to remember who it was.
No, someone else definitely did. I just
Atlanta,
find that like it was. I think it was Mercedes-Benz Stadium is insane. By the way,
which one?
The Atlanta Falcons one.
Yeah, there's two. The other one's the Saints.
It's insane. I drove past it this summer, and I was like, Jesus, like it really puts things into perspective of like the cost. It is actually wild.
Yeah, but it's pretty nuts.
We're here to talk about some Albion Giants, comp, smite, casting, the whole nine, Majin.
That's cool.
You have sent me a list of things for us to talk about. And I guess we could talk about our games of the week if you guys want to. We don't have to. I didn't really have a lot to talk about on that front.
I didn't
insanely busy.
Too much.
So is that going to be a positive game of the week, or is it going to be a negative game of the week? Because I can
probably negative.
Oh, I mean, I could definitely cover both. we can pick up. We could do a what? Okay, so I do this for cross country, and Luke's adopted it for dinner time in our household. We call it high-low wows. And we could do our high-low wows of gaming of the week, which is your best moment, your worst moment, and wow, that happened. And that could be good or bad. So that's that. We could do that. My high, I can start this off. My high moment of the week was I won a team fight tactics match last night in our 7-man queue lobby. With it, you could queue with up to 8 people, and it was me, Embright, Asmore, Boss, Gilly, Ash, and Bats, and then a rando, and I won, and that was pretty sick.
Gotcha.
And
That's
Bats
cool.
was doing pretty well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my high. First time playing, everybody's mad at me.
Yeah, this Bats is out here. He's like, he has no idea how the game works. He's just like putting units on the board, and he's beating people that are in the top 3. I was like, sometimes it's beginner's luck. It's just
I was like, there's a system, really? Huh?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to know?
It'd be like that sometimes.
They do.
It's like people like me that was it when DBZ, I think Budokai had just came out like 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And like I was just beating my friend to death, and he's like, "How are you doing all this?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm just pressing buttons, dude. Like, I don't play controller. I'm just pressing buttons and figuring out what I'm doing." Like,
I won a Dragon Ball Z Budokai tournament once. I love that game. Yeah. We were so you could have your character and you could have your layout however you wanted. And earlier in the tournament, I went against somebody that sensu beamed, and I was tilted. I was like, this is garbage. I am not dealing with this. And on the last round, I was like, you know what? Nah, we're doing it. I put sensu B on mine, and I popped off. And shoutouts, there is a new Budokai coming out. I don't know when the date for that is, but they are making a new Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and I'm extremely excited.
I didn't even know that. That's cool.
I always love Budokai. Those games are sick. All right, Majin, what's your high? What's your high for this week as far as games go?
Well, I guess I should actually start with WoW, because you guys know that I pretty much play only comp and casuals historically, right?
Yeah.
I started playing ranked again last week.
Oh, really?
Are you okay?
Wow, because I'm never okay. So I'll have to start with that, because my high and low is going to be both because of rank. So I've got to say
wow
factor.
Yeah.
I mean, at least there's a high and there's a low.
Yeah. So the high factor is before last night I was 12-3.
Oh, okay.
I was 12-3. I've had a lot of pop-off games. I've mostly been playing carry. I've had a couple mid games. I had a crazy Janus game, like 14-2 or something like that. But it was like when in one of the first 2 or 3 games, so it was like a gold lobby, so who cares?
Yeah.
Or a bronze lobby or silver lobby, whatever. So I got all the way up to 1950 Plat 5 Thursday night. And then I queue with Kings, who I drafted in OSL, didn't know him before that. And then like you playing with him now, Blaze, on our team, for King of the Hill, for Animosity. And so I've been queuing with him, and like I got all the way up to 1950, and then we had 2 really bad supports in a row, and we just were support diffed both games. And the low, or I guess so the best high of that actually would probably be just the fact that I could get to 12-3, and most of it was solo. So I feel like I felt really good about that.
Yeah. I'll say I played ranked like a week ago, and I popped off, and I was like, I don't need to touch any more ranked, because like that's a rarity.
That must be nice.
I think what's weird.
A lot of ranked.
I think what's weird, and I've talked about this before, for Smite, I don't enjoy queuing ranked a lot of the time, which is really, really strange, because I'll go queue ranked Wild Rift, League, Overwatch, whatever. It does not matter. I will play ranked. It is something about Smite ranked I just do not particularly enjoy, and I don't know what it is.
The bad random that kills your whole team.
The randoms are what the issue is for me, like those 2 supports in a row. But also the second game that we lost last night, the jungler was like 8-12 or 9-12, and they're still trying to shot call and like getting mad at people for not following what they wanted to do with the fights.
Right.
So it's like, brother, you died 12 times. Like, just stop. This is not your lobby to win. So I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
mine's randoms. Definitely randoms.
I think what did it for me was, I think it was last season, where they had the TP MMR bug, and I was in like 2,000 MMR games, and I was in gold 2 or 3, and I was about to promo, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're disabling it until we fix it. And I was on like a 9-game win streak or something like that. It was insane. And then I go and I lose like 8 or 9 games in a row and drop back down to bronze. I was like, what is going on, dude? Like, so that to me is shenanigans.
Is that where you could win like 6 games and be a Masters? Was it the same time frame, or was that before?
No, I think that was before, because I know that was a thing happening, but there was an issue with like it might have been that same time frame, but it was frustrating with like TP. We're like, I now have to wait, so I'm like stop gated. You could still play, and it would still calculate, is what they were saying, and they might have. I have no idea, but like I was gold 1 wanting to promo, and I'm sitting there waiting for them to fix it. They fix it, and then I just go on a huge losing streak, and I can't get out.
Sounds about right.
Feels bad, man.
Which, I mean, I've talked about it a long time ago. I've been in those lobbies where like it doesn't matter how you play, because bronze is bronze, and you are going to face the consequences of your teammates and just bronze in general.
Well, I wouldn't even say that, like, because like, for example, the jungler I was playing with last night was the second highest in MR in the lobby.
Yeah.
So, like, even if you're at a certain MMR level, it doesn't mean that you're actually that good. The game just thinks you're that good.
Yeah, no, but I mean, there was that season, I think it was season 8, when me and Dirtnat Dan were queuing. Like, I finally got out of elo hell. Like, I was in like the 700 MMR range because I just could not get in a game to win. Like, I just kept losing, and I could pop off
that one rando. I don't follow orders.
Yeah, I don't follow orders. But Asimore's seen this. Asimore's seen it when he goes solo, where he goes like 17-3 and 21, and they don't win because his team just won't group to fight. I mean, it's stuff like that.
Or take objectives, or I've been in his games.
Yeah. But I think my low point of the week, as far as games go, was probably that game 1 of that scrim tonight. That was, I did not play well. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was that, or if it was like, it's easily, okay, it's one of 2 things. It's that, or it's the arena game I played earlier. Your choice, where I played Downza, it doesn't matter. Both games I played, not great. The arena game, I had no team around me. Like, by the way, if you played the new arena map, when you kill Fire Giant, you get 20 seconds of CC immunity, which means that there's a Nox on the enemy team. She is useless. You can run at her.
Useless Nox, let's go.
So just throwing that out there. But I will say this about the game one of the scrim. I think it had a lot to do with the fact, like, we haven't played much together as five, so it's the idea of just figuring out what people want to do, how they want to do it, that kind of stuff, and it's fun. Because game two, we popped off. My wow would be, I actually attempted to do a game review today. I uploaded it to YouTube for Super Wrathboat together for dare drops. Since they supplied a key, I went ahead and did a game review. I will say this. I think I like the ideas I had for the game review. I don't think the execution was great, and I am well aware of that. But for a first time doing one with audio, I used to write game reviews for a website. Doing one that's audio based with gameplay, I think it was decent, but definitely some work to be had there. For listeners, if you have some ideas of things you'd like to hear about in reviews, I think for me, gameplay and music are always something I like to talk about, because I think both those are really important. But if you think there's other categories for us to touch on, or for me to touch on, let me know in Discord, send me a DM, leave a comment on YouTube, let me know. Those are my low and my wow. Bats, what's your low and wow moment of the week in gaming?
My low actually just happened right now.
Oh my god.
I just realized that I lost 100% blood servant on V-Rising, and that was pretty disappointing.
You deserved it. It's fine.
I hope you stub your pinky toe.
No, V-Rising sent out an email about they're working on another update, and it's supposed to be as big as the last update.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. The last update, I had to restart everything over. I don't want to do that again.
Well, that's
a lot of work.
That's
actually
tough.
It was a lot of work for Leone, because I would just get him to where he needed to be, and then I'd be like, okay, let's go fight this boss. And by fight this boss, I mean you beat it for me. Because V-Rising likes to... What's a nice word to say for when... Let's just put it this way. It likes to make me stub my pinky toe.
Yeah.
It'll be Leone will do all the damage. I'll be walking in, all of a sudden all the boss damage just runs right to me. It's I wasn't even here. Why is this happening?
I remember my other wow. And I need to share this.
How many wows do you have?
I forgot to talk about Overwatch on last week's podcast, and I had been consistent about mentioning that game every single podcast for 2 months. So I need to go ahead and say, hey, I forgot to talk about Overwatch last week, and they announced the Enigma as John Cena, but you can't see him, so that's a thing, because he's not actually in the game. But if you want a fun time right now, go watch videos or go read through the Overwatch 2 reviews on Steam that just released. It released on Steam this week. It is insane. The reviews are hilarious. There was one that said, they marked it as negative as possible. They said, just doing my due diligence or something like that. They are hilarious, because it's a game. It exists. All right, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt your low and your wow. My bad.
And I guess because I haven't played too much, I guess my wow would be just playing TFT yesterday and everybody getting mad that I have no idea what I'm doing besides clicking buttons.
It's true.
And they're like, what is going on? Then I don't remember who it was, but somebody was like, what is your even lineup? And I was like, what is you? I have no idea what lineups are. I'm just literally putting characters out there, and I won.
Yeah, so for those that have never played TFT, it's just like if you played Dota Underlords, or you played Auto Chest, or you played this Prophecy, which was the Smite Auto Battler, Smite Asset God Battler in quotation marks, that they just threw in the trash and didn't continue, which makes me big sad.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, you have just like we have Pantheons and Smite, they have their version of that in League, so that's a subset that you can spec into. But then there's Gunner, Sorcerer, and other stuff, so you want to make sure you get same units on the field, because you get passive stat bonuses for getting that. So Bats was just like out here with stuff that didn't make sense and was working. It was really impressive, to be completely honest with you.
But okay, it was just playing a game how it should be.
Playing the game how it should be. Oh my goodness! All right. So before we hop into AGL, comp, cast, all that kind of stuff, we do have a couple questions. And just a couple this time. First one was from Fro, and he just says, "How you been?"
Not too bad. Not recently. Like I've been actually pretty good recently, but like I'd say a month plus before I was in kind of a dark spot, but like I got through that. So I'm doing pretty good now. Like I've actually been alone this week, which has been helpful for me because I like my space and I don't get that often. So when I get space, I'm usually pretty happy. So right now I'm good.
I get that. I got to so I've been taking the kids with me a lot to cross country, which is hard. So like Luke's been training for a mile race, and then Logan he was running a mile with us. Like he'd do like 3/4 and I'd carry him, but then he found out that I could carry him and run. So his new thing is to get on my back, and I run a mile with him on my back next to Luke while I'm training my athletes. So this week I got to do a couple practices where it was just me with the athletes, which was nice, but it was hot as all hell this week. It was hot, dude. It was bad. Like, I got home the other day, and I almost was like, do I just cut all my hair off? Like, is that where we're at? Because it is too hot to be dealing with this.
I felt that today when I was doing yard work. I was like, do I really need this hair?
Yeah, I thought about it for a long time. Luke actually ran his first race today. He placed 4th overall. He ran a 9:35 mile for an 8-year-old. That's wild. I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
Like, that's faster than some of my like runners. I mean, that's crazy. He's out there making big money moves. All right. The other question was, and this is from Ash Basham. Shout outs to Simpy for Senpai podcast. They just got a new logo. You should go check it out. It's really, really nice. But it's, what's a gaming mechanic that changed a game and had you playing it more often than before from other franchises?
So I think this answer is kind of cheating because like when I first started playing Fortnite, before like the no build happened, I liked the idea of the game, but I hated like the building aspect once people started going crazy with it because I felt like it took away from the BR.
Yeah.
So once they put no build back in last year, I was like hooked on it for months and months at a time. Like I couldn't not play it like at least once or twice a day. Usually at 3 or 4 times, like 3 or 4 games a night, like after work. But I would say it would have to be Fortnite bringing back no build for me, as far as like something that happened to a positive to where I played it a lot. Because like right now, like even though like I just haven't had time to play like the last 2 or 3 months because I've been playing OSL, been running AGL. Like I have my stuff on the weekend I've been having to do as well. So like I just haven't had time to play Fortnite. I played it for the first time in 2 months last 2 nights ago with my best friend Hexy and one of her friends, my friends, Loki. But other than that, I haven't really touched it. But yeah, that's probably the one for me. And I had thought about one that was like the opposite earlier, but I can't remember it at this point. I can't remember which game it was.
By the way, I think your camera froze. Just as a heads up.
I love this.
Honestly,
I can't wait for Kenny to clip this. He's gonna make another meme.
Oh, he's gonna make a meme, dude. I didn't even think about that.
This was gonna be like when you're really thinking about what your answer should be, but you're just spewing out a bunch of bullshit.
Oh my god. But no, Fortnite's a good one because I mean that game does a really good job of between like the seasons, right? Like you get a map change that's usually pretty significant, and then throughout the season they do a good job of mixing it up consistently where like they do add these new mechanics in where there be a new weapon or like it's like a special ability you get from like some crossover event or many of the other things that it could be. I really do think that that's pretty good. I think that's a good one. I was going to say the other one, I didn't think about this last week because this was a question that got posed to me in Bats as well. Arena, which is the new 2v2v2v2 mode added to League of Legends, like that mode really made me want to play League again. Adding the roguelike mechanics in a 2v2 arena platform, I think is really cool.
You just didn't want to play Smite. Be honest with yourself.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to play Smite either. We already knew that. That wasn't I don't think that was too much of a question. More than having other things to play has been really good, for sure. I'm looking forward to Wayfinder this week. I'm hoping it's good because the beta that I played was pretty nice.
I remembered my opposite.
Okay, so what was your opposite one?
The opposite of the question?
Yeah.
Realm Royale when it was released, and then they
made
a bunch of major changes.
Oh, dude, I haven't played Realm in so long.
And like everybody's playing it. Everybody's telling them not to make these ridiculous core changes. Like the top streamers were playing it. They were saying you shouldn't do this to the game. It'll kill the game. What do? They fucking kill the game.
Yeah.
Like, and then I was so pissed. I uninstalled that right away, and I didn't touch a shooter for like, I don't know, maybe a year. I was so like upset.
I personally think, and I don't think this is a hot take, I think that is the biggest mistake Hi-Rez has ever made as a company. And like they got rid of Tribes, which I think was a fantastic game. And people loved Global Agenda. Never played it. But what happened with Realm Royale is the biggest just flop that they could have had as a company. And it might be one of the biggest flops in gaming, like in general, because they had something that people were so excited about. And it wasn't just like the top end streamers telling them not to do it. Like the whole community was like, yo, don't be dumb here. And it's actually
literally
it's actually the same guy that's over the company that did Prophecy Games that made that decision, from my understanding, if I remember correctly. And which is why they became a subsidiary company that could use Smite's assets and things of that nature, but they were no longer attached to Hi-Rez. Now, I could be wrong about that. I could be a little bit off, but that was my understanding. It was like, yo, you screwed this up big time, and like they just were like, here you go. But Realm Royale, if you were to ask me, like, what is my favorite give me the best 5 BRs. Like, it's PUBG, original H1Z1, like at the beginning. And then like original Realm Royale. Like original Realm Royale was just so good. And I was cracked at that game. I mean, that helped. I just sincerely enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And then they went stupid. And I have to give it to Thor, because Thor has worked his butt off trying to make Realm better and bring it back. And I do think the game has moved in a more positive direction. But I don't think it will ever make a recovery because it left such a bad taste in people's mouth. And I think about, I look at, and then I guess what bothers me is I look at that game, and then Majin already knows where I'm going next. Then I look at DKO, and I'm like, and I invested money in DKO. Like
what happened with Rogue?
Me too.
Yeah, I invested money in Rogue Company. I invested money in DKO. Rogue Company has been doing,
gods.
Hand of the Gods, yeah. Rogue Company, I will say this, Rogue Company is actually now managed by Evil Mojo. It is actually getting some positive publicity as of late. It has made a little bit of a resurgence. That game, I think, might have been ruined by its competitive scene based off of the people running the competitive scene. From my understanding, there was a lot of problems. But that game was relatively good and just fell off the face of the map. I mean, they got these huge crossover with 100 Thieves like out the gate, which made you think like, okay, this is going to do well. And then it just didn't see any backing after that, really, it seemed like. DKO, I mean, me and Majin firsthand witnessed that with trying to run a league for it and try to keep it afloat. And like, I mean, it's under Titanforge now. That game has not received an update, and I honestly think they should refund people's money.
Yeah, it hasn't received an update, and I can't even count. Like, it's been since March.
It's March or April.
It's March, because April was supposed to be a super secret major tournament.
Yeah, that's right.
That we were supposed to help run, and the Loki patch was the last patch, if I remember right. So that would have been middle of March.
Yeah, because was Loki when the Battle Pass came out?
Yes, Loki's when the Battle Pass came out, and then like, I was part of the partner program too, so we had codes for like skins and banners and stuff, and I stopped getting emails for those after I posted the last ones in the server. After basically the scene had already died at that point. Like, the only thing that was running was Frosty Friday's last 2 tournaments, and those were money tournaments. So there's like somebody doing unofficial tournaments every week that are like $10 buy-ins and stuff, but like, I don't know how the turnout has been, but it can't be like consistent, because we literally went from our first 2 tournaments being like maxed at 32 teams, and then the tournaments the next 2 weeks were down to like 25, 24, which is normal for any, like, when you start something and then you have to make adjustments, and then most of the people come back to see how it is. We stayed around that for another month, and then we just fell off the face of the earth. Like, we were getting 0 to 4 signups for every tournament, every 1v1 or 2v2 tournament, EU or NA. So it is sad, because like, when I was talking to the person who was like mostly in charge at the time, Staggy, who has left the company like a couple months ago, I was talking about having contacts in OCE and SEA, and trying to like run leagues for like those areas too. Like, once the games really went out everywhere, but it didn't happen clearly, and the game it just sucks, because like, I'm not good at brawlers, but I love watching brawlers, and for something to have like Smite history behind it, and me playing Smite since like the spring of season 1 and watching it since the very beginning, like, it's just really cool to see stuff like that. That's why I loved Hand of the Gods. That's why I loved like the mobile game they had for a while. But
that's another game they killed instantly.
Yeah, like, literally, they're like, almost any game that they create, they kill at some point by some sort of stubborn change that they want to make that they shouldn't make, or in this case for DKO, just a lack of support for the tournaments and everything. And I'm not sure what happens behind the scenes, but we were supposed to, us and Frosty Fridays were supposed to both open up like a major tournament for each region in early April, and that never happened. And it's now middle August, so we see how that's going.
Yeah, I mean, it did get taken away from that studio. It's now under Titanforge. I don't think that necessarily makes a difference. I can't imagine they want to afford effort into that over Smite. I mean that in the nicest way possible, but I honestly think it should have come to a point where like they just refund. I mean, I don't mean that in a mean way, but like, if you bought runes, like, you really just got, it's like, hey, we took your money, cool. There's no development happening on the game. I mean, it's the same thing I almost feel about Multiverse. Multiverse is going offline. We've talked about that before, and it won't come back till 2024. We'll see if it comes back. We have no idea. Like, they were like, oh, it was beta, which is like,
nowhere did it say beta.
Yeah, that's a huge cop out. Anyways, but crazy question. What do you think the peak player base for DKO has been the past 30 days? You want to take a guess?
Okay, so I haven't looked at this, but I did see what it was 4 months ago after all that stuff happened.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess the peak player base is around 43 players.
Oh, man. Bats, you want to make a guess?
67.
All right, so peak players in the past 30 days, 280.
Okay.
Playing right now, apparently 148, but that's on Steam. I don't know about console. And like part of me feels like that game would have thrived more on console than it would have on PC.
Oh yeah.
In a lot of ways. Because like my kids love that game. My kids actually had fun playing it.
When I saw that 4 months ago, it was at like 86 or 87, so I just assumed it probably like had already halved again. So that's why I went with 43.
So what's weird is last month it had a huge surge. Like it doubled. No, I mean not huge, like in the sense, but like it like doubled player, but like peak for some weird reason. And like that's it. It's been on just a steady decline.
Are any other major like brawlers on break right now or anything like that? Like maybe
no, I mean fighting games are on the rise right now. In my opinion, I think fighting games are the best they've ever been. When you think about it, I mean, like right now you have Street Fighter 6, you have Guilty Gear, you have Melty Blood, you have BlazBlue, you have Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, Tekken 8 coming out. I mean, like I think fighting games are really, I think this is the year in a lot of ways of fighting games. But just to give an idea of DKO's lack of success, Realm Royale has had 669 peak players in the past 30 days.
Oh wow.
And that's with like a new update coming out. The 24-hour peak is at 528, because they've actually done work. But the all-time peak was 104,557 on Steam by itself, and we'll never receive those glory days ever again.
That's what Ninja, Dr.
Everybody, Dr. Disrespect,
all those people.
Yeah,
all the big time streamers at the time, and still up to this day, currently, like that. Those people were playing the game, loving the game, talking about how like the mechanics were really cool and unique. And like my favorite class was Assassin because I love sniping, and the sniper was a part of that class for what was it? The forging. Yeah. So like that was like what I was trying to do every game. Like I played other classes like every now and then, but I played Assassin like 80% of the time probably, because it's just like sniping's my thing, so that's what I want to go for. So, but yeah, I just wish that game had not fallen off, because like that was around the time that we were in like our third or fourth AGL season, and I could have done a community league for that game as well, and that would still be running currently. So just thinking about things like that, like just with everything dying, it keeps us from being able to like put life into the competitive amateur community, into other high-res games. Like we tried it with DKO, we wanted to do it with Realm, or I wanted to do it with Realm back in the day, but like it died almost instantly, like a month or two later. So like, what do you even do? Like, I even asked about Rogue when it was coming out. They said they weren't doing any type of funding for it. So I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. You do it for everything else at the time, but okay. So I don't know. Like, it's crazy.
You want to know something wild?
What's that?
Again, this is Steam charts. Okay, the past 30 days on Smite, 17,892. 24-hour peak, 13,883. I just had the idea of like, because me and you have talked about this before, a Paladins League. Because like, I just think like, I love Paladins, but like, it just doesn't get the love it deserves. The player peak was 11,386 in the past 30 days. In fact, in June.
For Paladins?
Yes. In June, on Steam, 13,820, which is the current Smite number, by the way. It had the same concurrent player base almost as far as like the past 24 hours of Smite. That's crazy.
I do know there are. I don't know if there's leagues necessarily, but I do know there are tournaments still being ran by some people. I'll have to, because I'm a part, like being an AGL and like being an org that's like licensed to run tournaments for high res for Smite. They have a central headquarters for all the games that they have funding for, and so I've seen the names. I've got to figure out what's going on. I'll figure out what's going on and like get with you.
You know what else is crazy? Paladins has a higher all-time peak than Smite.
I can believe it because people playing like Overwatch almost try something else similar.
Almost double.
Yeah, that's insane.
Like Smite's all-time peak 31,169, Paladin's all-time peak 60,566. That's crazy. I mean, I'd love to see the console numbers, but that's kind of wild. But anywho, we should probably talk about AGL and stuff now. But like, you know,
I can't say what I just read and just found out because
no, you're good. You're good.
It's something I can't talk about, but this is interesting.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Season 11's wrapping up. Season 12's on the way. What's going on, Majin?
Well, divisional finals were last week. We had 4 divisions play out. We had a 5th one, and then 5 teams dropped out by the second week. For whatever reason, they decided to do that. So we didn't get to have a 5th one like we typically do. And then we had 2 conferences, one being Plat, one being Masters. All the other levels were in divisions. So the divisions finished up last week. And this week, the 2 conferences are finishing up. So the Ted Lissen's Plat Conference and the AGL Masters Conference is finishing up this weekend. Actually, AGL Masters is doing next weekend. They needed to have an extension so both teams could play. This was like a week where they had like 6 people collective on both teams on vacation and stuff. So they'll be finishing up the next week. But I'm excited to see this TED best of 5 finals because these teams, like the top 4 teams, it wouldn't have shocked me if any of these 4 teams in TED like won it. But
right.
I just like, I don't know. I gotta grab that real quick. So the Gun Show Shoguns is a team. Actually, Chalk made it to the finals. So 1 and 2 are in finals, which isn't common actually. That common for us. But Gun Show Guns actually had a captain change. He dropped from the team like the week of like quarterfinals.
That's crazy. That is wild.
So they had the captain change, had to replace him. I mean, they already had like 2 subs on the roster, so they didn't have to replace them. I mean, roster locked anyway, but like they went on 2-1 Hasman Hunters last week, who's been in the top 4 3 seasons in a row now. The other side, Something Spicy, the 2C moves on. They beat Carius Mac 2-0. Carius Mac, they won TED 2 seasons ago. They were the worst team overall in Sherrick's last season. Quite literally, like 0-7. I think they might have had 1 game win, and then we let them back into TED this time around, and then they earn a bronze match for 3rd or 4th. So. But that team's been around ever since the beginning of AGL, season 1. Yoma, formerly known as Purger, Berger, Maxon, and various people that they've had over time. Like that team's been together for a super long time. So I love seeing teams like that, like just come back all the time.
Yeah.
Like Hasman Hunters, this will be like their 5th season with us coming up. So like to see them continue to come back, continue to find a way to get the top 4. That's really cool. But this number 1 versus number 2 match is just like, it's the match that like you think of like last year where you're thinking you want to see the Chiefs versus either the Eagles or the Niners and you're fine with it. But these are the 2 teams you really wanted to see play out towards the end. And I'm checking to see when their match is scheduled for. Might have been today.
I think it was tonight, wasn't it? I thought.
Yeah, no, it's on It's tomorrow night at 8.
Okay.
And that's a best of 5, so that could go.
I knew it was one of them at 8. Yo, yeah, we had a best of 5 too. We didn't know it was. Anyways, no.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll cover that for sure because I just figured we'd knock out the conference since the only finals this weekend. Yeah, probably that's probably the best thing to do. So yeah, a best of 5 that could last to 1 a.m. So like, good luck to those 2 teams. But like, it's
we were ready at one point.
So Gun Show Shoguns and Something Spicy All right, so Gun Show Shoguns, its realty was Crispin as ADC. He's the person that dropped playing Dr. Killjoy, FS Deputy, people that have been playing at this level for over a year, probably. On the other side, I mean, it's just funny because like I know Dirty Bubble, I've played with Skull, I've played with Code, I've played with Bracking. Like that entire team I've played with at some point on a team or like in scrims or something. Brokazoid is a sub, but he's like a really good support in OSL. So like it's two teams of players that are like very seasoned at this level of play. And like I'm kind of leaning something spicy because like I know they have three players that can pop off at any time. And they're those players are pretty consistent. But on the other side, like I don't know Gun Show as well, so I can't really say, well, this person or this person can't carry like these three people can. You know what I mean? So, like, I have to say, like, I think Spicy would take it. But that's based on me like just knowing the players that I do know. I don't know the entire team like the back of my hand, so.
Also,
but I'm excited to see that match.
Is Ted the one that's going to be cast on Monday?
No. So the issue is, for Monday, we only have a 3-hour time slot for
That's true.
Game.
Yeah. So if it goes beyond that, that's a problem.
If it goes past 3, then we're done. Like we can't cast the rest of it, and it's kind of like pointless. So
yeah,
instead, it's being cast there. There's a Conquest tournament tomorrow. Just the open Conquest tournament for anybody to play in. It's a 5v5. We'll cast the semifinals and the finals from that. For tomorrow night, I think that's the plan right now. But yeah, that just covers the Ted Listens conference so far.
Okay, so I didn't know if we were doing Ted Listens. That's all I was gonna say. SmiteGame, 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday night. AGL will be casted there. You should go watch it. That's what I was saying. Yeah, for sure. But you know, neither here nor there. I think that's gonna be a caster cast, right? Or no? Did they sign up that way, or was that last week? I don't remember. The caster.
The caster?
Yeah.
I haven't had any of the caster games for AGL anymore. But like I do know the lineup for tomorrow is Dr. Shrew and Jordan for the chairs, and then the desk is D'Lo and Halana.
Oh, okay.
And then production is Norwallaby. So that's gonna be real fun. Yeah, for sure.
I love Norwal.
I would call him the GOAT, but he shit talks me too much, so fuck that guy.
Dude, I worked with so much production over the past month and a half. And people take for granted production. This must be said.
They do.
Yeah.
And look, there are two production people that are drastically better.
I just wanted that.
Yeah. There are two production people that are drastically better than everybody else. And it's Narwhal and it's Rosie. And that's it. Like it is a light years of difference.
Rosie does so much too. Like she casts. I mean, she broadcasts for like 3 different like leagues or tournament organizers.
She does. Yeah, it's crazy.
She's phenomenal. She does she's gonna do She started doing Thursdays for us like 2 weeks ago, but like 1 week we didn't have enough casters, and the other week we didn't have any games. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah. Bats is now having camera/lag difficulties. He appears to be coming back though.
So I gotta say this real quick because you probably see me break down the water.
Yeah, so I'm downloading it.
You're downloading what?
Ghostwire.
Okay, I'm gonna pretend I now know what you said, but like the lag is real.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
This man's internet said no.
I'll pause it real quick, I guess.
Like you froze, and it was like frames of you like this. Yeah, Your camera's still lagging behind, but it'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, I put I made like downloads more important than everything else. Apparently, that's a bad thing to do when you.
Yeah,
Listen,
Discord doesn't like that.
For $20, and I was like, let's try it out.
That game's supposed to be pretty good.
That's
my
what
bad,
I
Majin.
thought.
No, it's all good. I was gonna say you might be seeing like me grab my water quite a lot. So I buy Crystal Geyser, which is actually I found out 2 weeks ago is bottled um about 10 miles from my workplace, 12 miles from my workplace, in Salem. So I realized that, and I was like, "Oh crap!" And then I saw that they've always done this, but I forgot they did like their gallon. They do like it's actually really like a gallon and a quarter, but it says a gallon. But if you like actually put it out, it's a gallon. So it's this giant thing here. Like I usually when I come home, I have one. I put it in the freezer for an hour and a half, bring it out because so it's like ice water the entire time. So last night I brought it home. I was going to do the same thing, forgot, and then I come home at like 7 today, and I've been waiting for it to unfreeze and unfreeze.
You got a block of ice.
So it's mostly. I mean, there's a lot of water in here, but the very top, all of it is still ice at the very top, so it's not coming through. So I'm just like,
gotta get the
son of a gun. Like I've been trying to chisel away out of it. Like do things to it this entire podcast. I'm just like, why? Why can't it just be working for me?
You're gonna see in 15 minutes he's just gonna be there.
Oh my god, dude!
I have an addiction to ice cold water, so I drink a crap ton of it.
I only drink like room temperature water. Fun facts of the day. I wish I could drink cold water. I can, like, if I've just got done working out, but there was a time where I got 5 crowns done in a 24-hour period, and that put me off drinking anything that's ice cold. It was just painful, and I was like, not doing that.
Everything.
So, all I drink is water, for the most part. Water and coffee.
Yeah.
And the occasional Lonnie.
I'm 80% water, 50% Gatorade, Powerade, 5% like soft drink.
Yeah.
I'm like 10% water, 70% beer. Maybe like 5% pop and then the rest of it coffee.
Dude, I love coffee.
Especially ever since I got a mini fridge right where my gaming computer is. That's been a
time.
A game changer.
Yeah, a game changer is a set of words that you could use about Bats and his new fridge. That is true. Okay, where were we at? I don't remember.
I started with Ted Listens because I started with Ted Listens conference because like the finals are like tomorrow or this weekend. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to do Masters, which is going to be next weekend now, and then go back and talk about like the divisions since they've already passed and they just passed this past week. So I will go to Masters quick. I need to bring up the challenge because I forget the second team that's in this. I know it's Hydra's Hachiman Fan Club and then Royal Ghost.
Royal Ghost, yeah.
Okay, so Hydra's Hachiman Fan Club. From Illinois, Shane, who also went to a college near Illinois, but he did play for the Illini for 1 or 2 collegiate Smite seasons. Monicon father, also known as Emoji Daddy, Macaroni, also from Illini, and then Coach Fox. Like that's one of the teams. The other team, Royal Ghosts, Jay Oliver, seen him around forever, right? Been in the competitive scene for a long time undergoing Ghost and whatnot, and he just he's got like Dr. Dilf, who's almost always a going Ghost player, Depp Muffin, Waddles, who's usually a Scots player, but he's with them in AGL. And then Killcam Kenny. And then the subs for both teams, like the subs for Hydras is Evermed and Salmon Samuel. And then for Roll Ghost, it's Upgrade Only and Kairos RPC. And Upgrade Only, when I first watched him play like a full set, it was Titanomachy last season. and he was bodying every AC, and I'm just like, holy crap! Like this guy's like, I saw the numbers, but like you can see numbers but not see the performance, right?
Yeah.
So when you watch the performance, it's like, oh, that's why this guy's doing this. And then he's a sub on this team. Like that just goes to like tell you like how good these like high level SOC players are.
Right.
Because like this guy was bodying everybody and he's a sub. It's like,
and I casted some of those games. They were wild.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're gonna have their best of 5 next week. I'm pretty sure Mac's team won it last season.
I'll say I do not know because I don't remember what I don't think I casted. No, I did cast. I think I casted Masters Finals last season.
I was like, to me, Smite just kind of goes together with every game that play.
I feel you.
Now I've realized the only things that I remember about Smite are those people I don't want to play with ever again. Like, how are you in my game? I blocked you.
You know, that's the one thing I like about Wild Rift. I can like choose to block people I never want to play with again. Like that's an option. Not just block them, like block to not play with again.
That would be so great.
And I like that as an option. I'm okay if that affects my matchmaking time. if that's the case, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, dude. If I gotta wait a half an hour per game, if I'm playing with the people that I know I didn't block and don't make me mad, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Also reminds me,
they're like, you will wait, and I'm like, okay, that's fine, easy peasy. We will wait. No harm, no foul.
Wait. Okay, that's cool.
Majin is he is on the hunt, dude. He is gonna get Kenny's gonna send you a meme because he's gonna use that freeze frame for this moment.
Okay, so I misremember. They were like a good team, but they didn't make the top 8 last season, so they didn't make playoffs.
Gotcha.
I think it was the season before they did really well, but like regardless, like they did really good. But yeah, like Kenny's gonna like do that regardless of what's going on.
Oh yeah, 100%.
My camera not. Like he's got snipping tool ready at all points in times. Like this, he's got like 3 PCs up right now, probably.
Yeah. He will randomly send me.
I haven't got a meme yet. What do you think about this?
I'm surprised about that. Yeah, too.
It happens often.
Yu-Gi-Oh! He's busy. He's probably playing competitive right now.
He did tell me he was lurking because he had Yu-Gi-Oh! Tonight. So
I gotcha.
He's on
that.
Might
be why we have it. That makes sense. So I guess like that pops up Masters. Like it's just 2 teams that I mean. It's a 2 seed and a 5 seed. Like the rule goes to the 2 seed. This was a 16 team conference. Royal Ghost was the winner of their division, and then Hydras Hachi was actually the 3rd place team in their division. So I mean, it's just crazy to think about because like on the side of Hydras Hachiman, like the top team was 18 points, and then the next 2 were 15, 15, 14. And then on the bottom side, it's like the same thing, except for like 4th place was like quite a bit different. Who actually ended up getting 4th place, by the way, or 3rd place, by the way, which is funny to think about. Like nice. 8th seed got to 3rd place. Yeah. But as Royal goes to 18, then 14 and 14, and then the 8 they got 8 points. Quirky Newts, Legacy or Carbo Legacy is that's his team. But that's gonna be an interesting matchup because I didn't think we would see. Like I thought it was definitely possible Hydras makes it, but I didn't foresee Whispering Mathematics getting beat in the upset in the first round by Carball's team.
Like I'm about anything that has mathematics in it, that's all I'm saying.
I figured that was coming. But yeah, that's all for the conferences. I guess we can move over to the divisions.
True.
I guess, do we want to do yours first, or do we want to go in reverse order?
It doesn't matter. I've talked about our division last week. We can get it over with. Number 1, number 2 seed go against each other. We hard through picks and bans game 1. Shout outs to people that just lock their god without discussing it to the team. Love that, baby. If you ever
It
wonder,
was not me.
If you ever wonder like what's good into Bakasura, I can promise you it's not Nike. And
Hey,
game
I can
2,
say it's not Disco either because I got wrecked.
Game 2, we had a good draft game 2, but like we had no business pulling the Fire Giant. I probably made one. Okay, my shot calling game 1 and game 2 were insane. Like Majin, I called a play to go for their purple, and we killed 3 of them behind their tier 1 tower and duocide and got gold. And then my team hard inted game number 1.
Not the hard inting. Anything but that.
And Bats can confirm that. Like, our front line just was like, ha ha ha, and that's just the way of the road. And not like fully, like, we just like, it was just too big of a
It was and then they were gone.
It was just too big of a disconnect between front line, back line, peel. Like, all facets were just like off for us in that game. We just could not mesh that game and get it right. Game 2 was a whole other ball game. Like, game 2, we were smacking. We had like a 10,000, 13,000 gold lead. We wiped by Fire Giant. They get fired. Gold lead's gone. It was insane. And I made a play that game where I was like, yo, guys, what if we just don't go for Fire and we just go for Left Phoenix?
Yep.
And we got it. We push into Titan Room. And what happens? Well, Gactyl somehow got Titan aggro. I didn't know. I thought Azamor had it on. I think he was on the Emoji that game. No, he was on. No, he wasn't on the Emoji. I don't remember who he was on, but I thought our tank had.
Was it?
No,
yeah,
I thought
it was because
it was not Horus. Oh, he was. It was not. It was Shiva.
Shiva.
I thought he had aggro, so I didn't have to worry about DPS in the sense of like DPS dying. And I get pushed by Kuzenbo. I hold my beads because I know people are backing, and Gactyl dies. And we could have won the game in that moment had I beads. If I had just beads and not held it because I didn't know he got the aggro to get killed by Titan, I think we would have won in that moment. That game went 65 minutes and we lost. Gactyl said, hey, what's going to go on with picks and bans for game 3? I said, let me check if there is a game 3, because I know back in the day we used to have to agree on best of 5s. I said, give me a minute, I'll just double check to make sure that's the case. And there was a speech given and the person left call, and then we didn't have 5 people to play the next game, even if there was one. And then everybody else besides me that was still on hopped up, insta-queued a game, and there was no game number 3, so we had to forfeit game 3. But honestly, I think that was a pretty good set. I think for 1 and 2 seed to be a go against each other, like we beat them in rallies. They beat us in regular season when I wasn't there. They won 2-1. But this set was really close. And I think like there's a possibility like we could have went 5 games. And I'm glad we did it on a Friday night, because originally they were wanting to do it on a Sunday. And I was like, bro, I'm not playing until 1 a.m. Like what you're talking about when I have with 10
that would have killed me.
Like a 5-game set like that, it is super draining, and I have to go to work the next day. Not it. But you have a lot of teams that ended up performing, fairly well. I was hoping A&M Revs, they were like really making some progress. I was really hoping for them to progress in the tournament. Unfortunately, they fell during round 1. Showing Heart went against us in the semifinals, and we beat them, and that's
I was
the
gonna
nicest.
say, that's highlight.
That's the
there.
That's the nicest thing I have to say about that. But
when you have other teams,
but Pittsburgh really, I think they dropped 1 set the entire season. I mean, they were really consistent. They did really, really well. They had the bet, like their ADC had the craziest KDA. Or no, not them. Showing Heart had the crazy KDA. Pittsburgh's ADC was really good too. Zapsy was the one that's on Showing Heart. And I think that guy's KDA was crazy because people don't know how to play passive in ADC. People just think you can W key and win, and that's not the case. But that's A-Luke.
Yep, that's Luke, and now we're on to Narwhalaby. So another 8-team division, as all the other divisions are. The finals was the number 1 seeded Go-Gurt Boys, who earned 19 points, which means they only dropped 2 games this season. And they were facing the number 3 NyQuil Smoothie Enjoyers. They actually were tied for second, but they lost to the Blood Eagles 2-1 during the season. So because of that, Blood Eagles got the 2 seed. Well, it didn't matter because they beat Blood Eagles in the semifinals to go to the finals. And NyQuil Smoothie actually took down Go-Gurt Boys and ended their hopes of having as many points as possible for the entire season. They take the finals, and I just Go-Gurt Boys, I was already planning moving because they were just clearly voting everybody else. And then I was kind of surprised when I saw the match reports and NyQuil Smoothie had 3-1 them. I was like, what? Really? I was like,
yeah. I've watched some of their games, and they were good.
Yeah, like in game 1, Big Andy, the jungler for NyQuil, got Kali, they got Ganesh, they got Achilles, and they had Izanami. Like, at the time, like top 2 or 3 in every role. Izanami maybe 4th or 5th.
I don't want to play that game. I'm good.
Yeah, so like the team, the number 1 team, Go-Gurt Boys, they had Apollo, Dodgy, 2 gods that are definitely not whatsoever in the meta. And then they did have Tirathena Agni, who were definitely worthy, but their front line was 0-11 in that first game. Then the second game, that's where the loss came in for NyQuil Smoothie. Big Andy did pretty much the opposite of that game. Played Arachne. It did not go well whatsoever. The other team had Ganesh, Thor, and Thanatos with an X-Ball. So you didn't know who was landing on you, and you couldn't see who it was going to be. So
you know what's crazy? I've seen a lot of X-Ball played with one of those picks, and whenever I see them play, they don't use the X-Ball ult for the dive, and that drives me insane. If you're locking X-Ball,
man, yeah,
and you have a Thor, you have any type of global ult, I really don't care what it is, turn the lights off, bro. Turn them off. Make it easier for you. Drives me insane. Sorry.
Yeah,
just had to throw that in. Like it drives me insane. Like even as a caster, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so the X-Ball that game went 12-1, Thanatos 13-6, Shadow Knights, the X-Ball. So they just went off on that one. The next game, Big Andy gets Thor, goes 8-0-8. They get Hachi as well, 8-2-6. They get Baba Yaga as well, 4-0-8.
So that's a Bats pick right there.
Again, like top 2 of every role. Atlas is like top 5.
No, don't you dare.
Not
Atlas is trash.
Talking about when I get banned. Oh, Atlas.
I'm not hearing this. No.
Atlas mid carries. Don't you remember?
Atlas is garbage. I'm not hearing this. Look, if people ask me who the worst support is in the game, obviously in the Guardian tab, it probably starts with Yorm. It probably does. But Atlas is bad, dude.
Disagree.
No way.
I think if you play him right.
There is no right way to play him. He's just bad. Majin, we win against one tonight. Bodied that fool because he can't do anything.
Did he build pathetic first item?
I don't know. I don't remember. I can go back and check the VOD, but I promise you, Atlas is bad.
If Atlas is not building pathetic first item and constantly throwing the one out just to get the stacks up on it, then yes, it's bad. But he's the best at getting that item stacked, and he can still go Thieves and then go Pridwin, and you can never do anything to him. He's not as good now as he was 3 weeks ago.
I think Baba's the best at getting the stacks.
Okay, I will agree as far as support goes.
I just meant a support.
Yeah. As support, I will agree that getting prophetic stacks is easy on him because of the one. But there is no shot in the past, I will say in the past 6 months, that god has been the top 5 of supports. No way.
And you've not been watching competitive at all.
I have been watching competitive. They're wrong.
There's no way.
They're wrong, Majin. They're wrong.
So when
bro.
they had the super tanky jungle meta when he was the #1 pick because he's the only support with Prot Shred, you're saying he's bad?
Yes.
That's the meta he was good in, and then he kept getting played a little bit here and there.
He hasn't been good this season, dude. Like in season 10, he has not been good.
That's a lie.
No.
That's just a straight lie.
No, it's
this
not.
This is gonna go on forever.
Oh my God. No.
But yeah.
Oh no.
Anyways,
maybe in a look he's not good.
He's not good at any level. He's not
Blaze
good.
despises Atlas. I'm not even playing.
I don't know.
We can sit here for 4 hours, no joke, and have pros and cons.
No,
and
here's the deal.
There will be more cons because Blaze will add way more.
I have asked. I have asked supports before if they'd play Atlas, and the answer is no. Like, because he's bad. I can't.
Because they don't know how to play him correctly, clearly. Or level him correctly.
God, dude, he is bad. Like, there is no way that he is in the top 5 in season 10. I could be really wrong, but I feel like there's no way, dude.
I'm not saying the entire season. I'm saying there's been times.
But I am. I'm saying in the entire season, I don't think he's ever cracked the top 5.
Well, maybe you're just bad.
No, I could be, but
1v1,
like
1v1.
I just don't like. There is the best thing about his kit is the fact that he can remove slows, and like I just don't even think that's good. Like his grab puts him in an awkward position, and like you lose the grab if you throw the 1 out and activate it. So then that feels dumb. His ult is garbage. Like his ult does. I mean, like if you could get them to stand in it, right, and they get hit by it, and you get their shred with it, cool. But like it just doesn't happen. I don't see it. Maybe you're right. I don't see it, dude. I can't imagine that God's good at any level of comp. If that God's doing well, then the enemy team is doing something really, really wrong. Because that God is bad.
Like he can definitely be punishable because, like you said, like he needs to like pull and then like pull them to you, like bring them back to you. So like there's definitely ways to like not make him like as good as he can be. But like if you're not maxing your 3 first, if you're not maxing your 1 second to get slow, if you're leaving your 1 activated at all times, that's horrible. That it never works out.
No, it doesn't.
The Prot Shred on the 4 is why he was good and really top in the like everybody is a frontliner and building 300 Prots meta because he's the only support that could offer any help in the Prot Shred. Like back when ADCs were hitting tanks for 100, like 3 patches ago. Like that's when he was good. Now that was short lived for like what 4-5 weeks.
Those ADCs were also building wrong, but I am in a whole other volume of things there.
No, like you could literally build XC and Dom and Silver at that time, and you were only doing like 150 after 3 autos.
They were buying the wrong starter.
I mean, you have all this pin and you cannot do enough damage.
Arrow's the way. Moss is like, what have I got, dude? Moss is like, blazes off the rocker.
It doesn't matter if it's Cal or Arrow. That's 1 damage, literally 1 damage.
No, I mean, that ADC was rough at that time. I can't even. Yeah. I don't remember. Even at SPL level, I don't think they played. Like the people that played Atlas lost. I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know. That God to me, I would love for him to be good. Like, for instance, like his dash is just so weird to me. Because like Charon's dash makes sense, right? Where Charon pushes people to the side and roots them. And like, it feels like Atlas dash should do something similar. Where like, if you run into a target, you just stop. And you're like, I carry the world on my shoulder, but if I run into another god, I just stop. But yet this man on a boat just goes oaring by. And I don't know. I think there are some things on his kit that if they were just smoothed out, I could see him in top 5. I just personally don't. I hate that god.
I mean, it is what it is.
Did they win with that god?
Yeah, but games 3 and 4. Games 3 and 4. They won with that. They also like it's just dumb. Like I'm just looking at the drafts and like game 4 they won with getting Hachi and Baba, and then they finished it off with Naja, Atlas, Hebo.
Baba. It's all the
like,
Baba.
Like the Naja went to solo against freaking Hades. How does that? How does Naja get out of that laning phase alive? Like, so they won a bad matchup in the soloing side. They gave the other team Ganesh and Marty, and they won. So like, it's so weird.
That makes negative sense, Majin.
I know that last game, how they won that, I don't get based on the draft, but like,
did the Marty not build items?
Marty had he had all the right items, full build, like completely full build. He went the corrupted bluestone though.
Did they have? I mean, if they had a lot of auto attack, I mean, that's not terrible. That's fine.
No, they had.
I am mind boggled.
They had Bastet, Rat, Hades, Ganesh, for the Marty comp. They had 3 Soul Eaters.
Okay.
And Baba didn't even have Divine. Wait, they had 3 Soul Eaters and lost to 0 anti-heal except for Hebo?
How is that possible?
I don't know how Go Boys pulled that off, but that's impressive.
My brain hurts. Crap. I can't think about this
I forgot about that when I looked at it earlier. All right, well, I mean, we can always move on to shares.
But like, how? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Naja beats out of Hades. No. There's not a world where that exists.
Shouldn't be. Can't be. But I mean, I'm seeing 9-3 and 10 Naja, so I have to believe it, I guess.
That is wild, bro. I have nothing that I can like. That is unfathomable.
Unless the whole team stands around the Hades there in ring toss.
I don't know. That's insane.
Did the Marty go like super negative? Did they int?
They were 5 and 6.
That's not even bad.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
Did anyone on the team go super negative?
Okay, so not really. So Rat Solo was 5-7, Marty 5-6, Basta 8-5, Hades 3-7, Ganesh 0-4-11.
I mean, Hades 3 and 7.
Okay.
I mean, it hurts a little bit. Yeah. I just wait. That'd be Hades mid. Because it's Rat, Bastet, Marty, Hades, Ganesh. So that would be Hades mid.
But my other thing is, there was no anti-heal built against them and they lost?
Yeah, there's only...
what was the Hades build?
There's only a Divine Ruin by the Hebo, who's... I mean, he's got to burst you to...
Yeah, I mean, like, he's not applying anti-heal well.
Yeah, like he's the Baba could have.
Yeah, like, the Baba could have, but...
The Baba should have had that, and Hebo should have had Desolation, and then that would have... But, I mean, they still won regardless, but, I mean, Hebo 4-10, Atlas 4-5, Naja 9-3, Hachi 9-4, Baba 3-0. I mean, they found a way to win, but, like... you were asking about whose build again? Hades?
Hades, yeah.
So we went Shroud, Warlocks, Valor, Poly, Ethereal, and then Typins.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I'm not okay. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I have analyzed a lot of Smite in my lifetime, and now my brain... I mentally and like I don't get it. Like if you lined up those two teams and you're like, this one didn't build anti-heal, I'm like, surely they won. Like this one and this one built 3 Soul Eaters. Okay. Oh my god.
Okay, so here's the funny part. So the 3 physical gods, so Rat, Bastet, Marty, they all built Trance, they all built Soul Eater, they all built Heartseeker. They had 3 of the same item.
Okay.
Like, I don't know.
What acorn did Rat go?
Thistle. So the sun acorn.
Interesting. I digress.
And he was definitely solo. Based on what I'm looking at.
I got nothing to make sense of this. We're gonna chalk that up to a good for them moment. That's all I got. that is wild.
With that, I guess we should move on to Sherrick's, the high plat, low diamond division.
Yeah.
So in finals, number 2 Cavaliers, which is Revify, Pluto, Symphonic, Foexy, and then Murder. That's the number 2 seed. The other team's the number 5 seed in Heart Showers, who won Ted Lissen's last season. It's Yuskos, Harry Hasselhoff, Jungle Buff, Jarvie, and then they had a different solo laner. Forerunner was the solo laner for them this season. And Heart Showers are back-to-back champions. It's the first time anybody's ever won the Ted Lissen's conference and then won Sherrick's the next season.
Yeah, it seems really good. And I always get them and Showing Heart, I get confused because like they're literally like if you swap their names.
Yeah, so that's the same org. They just switched the name around because of that. So it's Showing Heart and then Heart Showers. Everybody says Showers. No.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be Showers.
I know, but I see it, and that's what I think. I don't know, man.
Oh, 100%. I got it. Like, I definitely understand.
I think people have even sent it to me as Heart Showers before. Like, I think I've received that in DMs before when I've been asked to cast games. Who knows, dude? I mean, that's awesome. Like, to be able to jump up a conference and even be the 5 seed and make it that far and win is impressive.
Well, then also, if it's Heart Showers, then isn't it Showing Heart?
Yeah.
I mean, there's also that world, too. So.
Yo, man, words are hard. I don't know.
So the first game, Yuskos did play Atlas. They did lose. So,
finally, some justice to my thoughts. Okay.
So, to be honest, the only actual, like, 2 meta gods that they played were Marty and Kukulkan. Kukulkan was 8-13. Marty was 2-4. On the other side, it was Hachiman, again, a top 3 pick. Thor, top 3 pick. Achilles, top 3 or 4 pick. Terra, I don't know where you would consider Terra right now, but she's like in and out like every week, dude. Like 1 week she's played every game, the next week she's not played at all. Like it's crazy.
I think Terra is interesting because I think she is one of the better supports. I think she's also one of the harder supports to pull off. Because
mechanically, yes.
Yeah, the problem is like you have to mechanically be able to do it. And I don't mean this as any offense to support players, but sometimes mechanics are not mechanical plays are not the strength of support players sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
And I think that's where Terra is in a weird spot. But I think Terra is relatively good. I mean, you look at what her ultimate does, you look at the healing, you look at the amount of CC she has. I really like Terra, but she's also hard to fit into comps.
That's
because
true.
you need her CC is so based on mechanical skill, you need more CC than just that. Where other supports are easy to confirm.
And looking at this item build from Yeet, I'm gonna ask him how high he was before he did this. He went 3-13 on Merc. He went Bloodforge first item.
What?
Okay,
Merc.
That's a move.
Like not Golden Blade.
You know what?
The correct option. He wasn't Bloodforge.
Here's the deal, Majin.
He also went Hydra's last play.
Oh, okay. That's a time.
That's a decision in the build.
Like Bloodforge 5th item, got you. First item, what are you doing?
Well, here's what we know. He wasn't the reason that Merc got nerfed.
I cannot understand this company, dude. Like, so the reason Mercury got nerfed when nobody was picking him at all is because in ranked Conquest before this patch of gods that were played in Diamond and above in the jungle. He was the second highest win rate in the jungle. That's why I got nerfed.
Okay. I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
64% win rate, by the way.
That's insane. But how often was it? You know what I mean? Like, how often was he played?
I mean, it was at least, let's look it up now.
You know what I mean? Like, if the same 5 people are queuing Mercury and getting dubs on him, I don't know. It's just weird.
Smite Master.
Oh yeah, did that build by Yeet have crit? That's what Bats is asking.
It had Rage Deathbringer.
Okay, well, we had a build. It just wasn't the right order.
Okay, so
he was building backwards, Majin. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't understand the Hydras then.
Oh my god.
So at that time, he was picked 900 times in that month.
Interesting.
Now, since the nerf, he's gone down to 54%, so he's dropped 10% in win rate since this just changed, and it's been almost 500 games.
Interesting.
So he wasn't even being picked in comp or banned at all, but he catches a nerf and loses 10%. Like, hello?
It's just weird. It's just really strange.
Yeah, I don't understand. But regardless, I'll talk about excuse me. So Foexy was 14-4 on this Achilles. Murder on the Thor was 13-2. They absolutely murdered in this game. But that's the only game the Travelers won, as they lost the next 3 in a row. After that, Murder got Thor again, 13-2 again, but lost this time around.
Feels bad.
Wait a minute. Wait, they reposted it. That's not. Did they just repost it? They reposted the first one twice. I'm gonna tell Yusos about himself. The next game, Jungle Buff gets the Thor. He goes 7-3. This game looks pretty even outside of that. Like Agni for Harry is 2-3. Jarby's 0-3 on Ishtar. 1-17 Maui and 1-4-5 Wukong. The other side's a 5-2 for Solo. Robin 2-1-4 Jungle. 3-2 Jingwei ADC. Wong was 4-2.
Are you telling me
0-4? Are
you telling me the worst hunter in the game won a game?
Yes.
That is crazy. That god is so bad.
She really is. I hate it too, because she's one of my favorites to play. Because you can just WQ with her, but still have like free get out of the jail free card like every 90 seconds. So
yeah, it's just it is insane to me how bad that god is.
And it looks like the next game was competitive too. So like,
this got unlucky for 3 games.
Heart Showers. I mean, 9-5 Wukong, 9-8 Loki, 6-3 Marty, 4-5 Wong, 0-5 21 Ganesh.
Jesus.
Other side, Milan 6-8, Raven 9-7, Rama 7-4, Atlas 1-2-19, Discordia 3-7. So like another close match, but Heart Showers won that one. And then the last one, looks like did Ganesh win 3 games in a row? Is that facts? Yeah, Ganesh won 3 games in a row. That's why people ban him first.
I think you definitely. I'm not gonna lie. I think after the second game of him popping off at 0-5 and 21, you definitely banned that god.
Yeah, and they didn't, and they gave it to him. I mean, this looks like it was pretty much like not that close. It looks like Foexy was 11-7 on this Mulan, so like had more than half the team's kills from what I'm looking at. So 5-3-1-1. Yeah. So of the team's 21 kills, she had 11. They had Kali, who went 3-6, unfortunately for them. They had Kali, but Kali into Agni and into Cupid. That's a little rough. And into Nike. They must have counterpicked this Kali. They had to pick that. There's no way. Like,
sorry, this made me look at Atlas win rates because I just wanted to know. I had to go look it up. The God's bad. Can confirm.
Well, then see Atlas, Diamond and above, Guardian support, 217 games, 58.7.
Yo, his win rate's pretty high if you're Diamond. That is, that's true.
That's what they're nerfing and buffing off of. That's why I'm looking at that.
Yeah, well, his Grandmaster win rate's 100%. We don't see any Atlas nerfs coming. That's all I'm saying.
100%. Picked one time, did 14,000 damage.
That 100%. You gotta take it off the board. You know what I'm saying? You took Mercury off the board. You gotta knock him down a peg. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there.
I will say, looking at Atlas, he's 47% or worse at every level below that, except for Silver, which is weirdly 51. But
yeah, it's a weird time to be alive.
It's so crazy. So it makes me want to look up Jingwei. So let's look up Jing.
There's no shot that God's good. If that God has a high win rate,
get him started on Jingwei.
I'm gonna be upset.
Really, don't get him
Diamond Plus is 57% win rate. Average damage 28,000. She's picked 1.6% of the time.
You know what's crazy? If you look at just all levels of play, her win rate's 53.08%. And that God is terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
Her win rate by Hunter, she's 23rd among Hunter. Okay, yeah. In terms of popularity, Jingwei in Conquest takes 111th place among all gods because she's bad. 23rd place among hunters because she's bad. By win rate, Jingwei is 15th place among all gods and second amongst hunters, which is really strange because she is bad. That's crazy.
She's going to get nerfed next patch.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. That's fine. We can live with that. Our last division is Glacier, right? Yeah.
That's right. So
yeah, I was voting Eon Peons quite a bit in our draft. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, like everybody stopped replying, so I just stopped doing it. But yeah, okay, first of all, I'm going to talk about this division before we get to even talk about them. You do not ever see this kind of thing happen. First of all, the 6th place team, they were 2nd place last year.
Yep.
When it was a conference, when it had 16 teams. This season, they were 6th in 8 out of 8 teams. Crazy change. So, in the last week of the season, the top 5 teams all could have been number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 5. How's that possible, you say? Well, it's pretty crazy. Olympus was first at 14 points. Remember, the max amount of points you can get is 21. So they had 14. Yeah. They had a tiebreaker over Eons, who also had 14. Drunk and the Goon Squad had 13 points. Noodle Boys had 13 points. Flaming Tanukis had 13 points. So your top 5 teams are literally 1 point within each other. All of them are 4-3 or 5-2 for their actual record. This division, this is peak competitive Smite. Like, even 6th place with going gold, the previous season, I think they were Bad News Bears. Most of the players, I can't remember the exact name. I think that was one. They got 6th place over a tiebreak over the 7th place team, who was also at 7 points.
Jesus.
This division was cracked to follow, because 1 week it's like, oh, this is clearly the best team. This team's definitely second, and then these teams, it's like all over the place. And then the last 2 weeks, all that changed. Like, everybody was upsetting everybody, and all this stuff started happening. Like, Olympus lost 2 of their last 3 matches. Eons Peons won their last 3 after losing their previous 3. Like, Noodle Boys won their first 5-0, lost the last 2. I don't know what to say. Like this was like the most craziest thing that's happened that I've seen in the AGL. Like I've seen some tight divisions before, but this one being literally 1 point away for every top 5 team is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was really close because I followed this division pretty closely last season because I casted a lot of the games, and just the turnaround from like teams that were at the top now being at the bottom, like it was wild because teams I was like following as far as like when we were doing our drafts each week, like Going Gold was like I think finished 2nd place last season.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, surely like they keep like progressing, like they'll probably be top 3. And that's just not the way it worked out. Like it was strange how close it was, but also just how much it changed from last season. Because last season you have that 16-team division with the conferences, and now this 8-team division, like it's just obviously just dummy close and super duper competitive, which you love to see. You just don't get to see it that often. But it makes the games casting good. It also makes for a good playoffs because you know that everything is just up in the air. Like any game you go into is going to be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess we'll talk about the finals now. So number 1 and number 2 making finals. As I said, Eons had lost to Olympus at one point during the season. So that's why Olympus had the tiebreaker. And the number 1 team, Olympus, the Cylinder's Wake, Jungle's Tainsy, who's been around for 2+ years, maybe 3 at this point. I don't know how to say their mid laner's name, so I'm just not even going to try, but it starts with a B. Their support in AC are Lone Wolf and Josh Goggles, 2 people, again, that have been around for like 3, 4, 5+ years. I've known Josh for a long time. Then for Eons Peons, you've casted with Halanu a couple times, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So Ionize, Gatograph, Halanu, Savalis, and then Mini. That's the starting lineup for that team. And it's crazy to think about. So like let's just talk about game 1 first. So I tell you the jungler plays Lancelot, and what do you think they're going? Like what KDA do you think they have?
Probably negative.
Where at?
It's high diamond. It's in jungle.
I
just don't think like Lancelot's one of those gods. I think depending on the comp, even with the right comp, it's so hard to execute.
The player to me, it's all about like who's playing it, whether they're actually comfortable with Lancelot or not. Okay. Because I feel like Lancelot is one of those feast or famine picks where you could do well on him, or you could just like tank.
Okay. So he played into Bakasura, Merlin, Ganesh, Alquang, and Ishtar.
You're baiting me to say that he did bad, but he probably popped off, and he definitely shouldn't have against that comp. That's how I feel.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say I'll do the benefit of the doubt. I'll say like 10-5.
How about 19-4?
That's ridiculous. God. That's ridiculous.
The god doesn't get picked or banned in any set ever, like this entire year, and he just picks it out like what it says. Oh, let me just throw out 31k damage and just get 19-4 in like 30 minutes. No problem. So they won 1 off of that. I mean, the rest of the team was the only other net positive person was Halanu 6-3, but the entire other team was negative. So like only two people, 3 people in the game were positive. So many was positive. So only those 3 were positive, and one of them was barely. So like
that's crazy, dude.
The next game, Tainsy picks Cleo. Again, another god that you'd hardly ever see. Tainsy's on the winning team this time, which is Olympus. They pick Cleo. What do you think their KDA is looking like?
Cleo? Probably like 11, 3, and 8. I think Cleo's pretty good, but I think she's a god that's again hard to play because you have to do a lot of setup at the walls with her. People sleep on that god.
No, it's a good god, but it's like you're just like, oh, how did they go? After I already know what the other one did.
that was game one.
That was game one. This is game two.
I know, but it's like, you bait me into thinking they did bad. But
no. This time I'm pretty sure that I bet the KDA is awful, but I'm definitely wanting to feel that. I feel like
I'm gonna say
double-digit
like
15,
kills, 15-5, and 20.
Okay, so Blaze was actually really close. It's 11-5 and 9.
Freaking
dude,
Blaze.
I was close. I said 11-3 and 8.
Yeah, that was pretty close. So, like,
by the way,
again,
your camera froze again. By the way, I just realized this. More edits for Kenny.
Kenny memes.
More edits for Kenny, dude.
We need Kenny memes like
Kenny's out here running a gold mine right now with memes of cameras between you and Bats. I'm next on the list at some point soon, I feel like.
I mean, in my defense, I was just dumb and downloaded.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so the next game. Let me click on the correct one. Okay. So no weird jugglers this time.
Dang it.
Technically, actually, there's a Lance again, but I feel like it's not weird if it's in if it's played in the set already. So
yeah,
I don't think it's weird. So this time, we've got a Zonghui mid, and that was played by Halanu. So, do you guys want to guess what their KDA was that game?
I feel like I played against Halanu in casuals, and I feel like he was a Zonghui in that game, but he might have been a Raw. I don't really remember. I feel like it was one of the two. If I had to guess, Zonghui. Who was his opponent's mid pick against the Zonghui?
Okay, so I'll tell you the entire team.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go solo down to carry. Hercules, Lancelot, Yu Wong, Terra, X-Ball.
Well, I hope that team lost because they picked Hercules, but that's beside the point.
They probably didn't.
At least they didn't pick Atlas.
So that team did lose, but yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's fine. Okay,
but he went 4-3, so he's the only positive person. So
Zonghui into that. I mean, Yu Huang, pretty safe god. I'm gonna go with 8, 2, and 12.
I'm gonna go 10, 3, and 15.
Excuse me. That water was really fucking cold, guys.
I was about to ask me, yo, how'd the ice feel, dude?
It busted on me, finally.
It a little bit different that time.
It hit different, bro. So Halanu went 3, 2, and 10.
Oh, man.
So they had Somu Kong 602, Rat 618, and Rama 729. Oh gosh, that fucking hit, dude. Oh.
Okay, what was the stat line for Halanu again? Sorry, because Kenny made a meme. Sorry.
3, 2, and 10.
Okay.
So I was completely off of what everything that we.
Yeah,
we've done
that's
so
fine.
far. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, so this is the last game, and they do win this one again. So Halanu's playing Zong again. He's into Raven, Rat, Tia, Athene, and Heimdall.
Heimdall was picked? That's crazy. I don't even want to get... Heimdall was picked? I love Heimdall. I love him.
You just don't see him played.
We just don't see him played. I don't know. I no matter what I guess here, I know I'm gonna be way off either way because like I want to go on the low bar, but I have a feeling I probably did better this time around. I don't know.
Would it help you if I told you he went negative?
Yes.
No, because I was gonna say I feel like it's gonna be like 1, 5, and 10 or something like that.
Okay.
So
But that's all I got.
wait, are we talking like high negative or low negative? How about
No,
that?
you don't get that information. I didn't. You get negative. That's what you get.
Okay.
This isn't an Atlas situation, okay?
How about
by technicality, by using the KDA,
2, 7, and 11?
that's pretty damn close. 3-7 and 3-7-9. 3 kills, 7 deaths, 9 assists. So your boy Hilanu got carried that game for sure.
Hey, it happens to the best
It
of us,
actually
honestly.
looks like the other team threw because like his Nike's 447, his Merc is 956, ADC's 369, and Ganesh is 0514. The other team, Wake is 3411, Josh is 4215, Tainty 9611. Their mid was 7-5, and their support was 4-3. So it looks like it was a throw.
That's always fun. We love that.
But that's a dub's a dub, baby.
A dub is a dub. That is very true.
Yeah, for sure. So that's how all the finals went for all the divisions, all the conference, or all the divisions. Of course, again, TED is being played tomorrow at 8 p.m. Masters will be next week because they needed a week extension since 6 of the players, I think it was 6 of the players, are on vacation. So just have to push it back for them.
Well, I'm excited to see how that plays out. That should be good.
Yeah, same. Should be pretty exciting.
Yeah. All right. What do we have next, Majin?
Well, speaking of like all the finals and everything, I might as well just mention like 2 things here. First, I'll talk about the AGL and OSL both doing the Titanomachy tournament again.
Can you guys pick an easier name to say?
No.
That ice is still screwing with me right now.
No, that's not even why I say it. Like when I go to cast that tournament, I get so concerned about how to pronounce it every time. And I practiced before last time. I was like, okay, Titanomachy. But then you go to say it on cast, and dude, it is a stumble for words. Yeah.
Titanomachy.
Yeah, it is a time. That's all I'm saying.
So the word Titanomachy, I think it was in Greek battles, but it meant Battle of the Titans. So that's where that derived from, and that was Snooze's suggestion when we were trying to come up with a name for it. But that's on August 20th at 3 p.m. EST. It's going to be on the OSL Twitch. Last time we only did one division versus another division. This time we're having that, but we're doing it with 4 different divisions that have their own individual tournaments. So this time it'll be Masters versus Athens. Excuse me. It'll be Sherix versus Sparta. Ted versus Delphi, and which would have been funny if Ted and me somehow made it to play in this because he'd be playing against his own named division. That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
But we were definitely the opposite of being able to do that. So, and then the last one is Crete versus Narwhalaby. As close as we can get to about where the competitive should be close to even. So we're gonna give all 4 a shot. Made its own server, invited the captains all in there, and just seeing what we can do. See who comes out on top. It's always a question of like, what's better, a pre-made team that's got a little bit less caliber players on it, or is it a drafted team that's got a little bit higher quality players on it? Because if you don't know, with draft leagues, there's a thing called waterfall. So if you don't get drafted in your division, you can fall down to the next division. So if you're Masters, you can fall down to Diamond. If you're Diamond, you can fall down to Plat, etc. So it's not perfect, but it's as close as it can be. So doing all 4 of those, I'm excited. So OSL will live cast 2 of those on 2 of their Twitch channels live, and then obviously, if you wanted to cast any of them on your channel anytime, sure. I might try to get a broadcast going on a Monday, maybe for one of them, if possible. But it's going to be really fun. It's something I wanted to do a long time ago, but we never really had another league that. I mean, Valhalla was around, but I didn't really know a lot about draft leagues at the time because I was only thinking about like this pre-made league versus this pre-made league. I never thought about pre-made versus draft because I wasn't invested in the draft scene at all, so I didn't really know.
And last time, I mean, I know it was just one division last time, but the tournament was close. Like, it was good games between the two of them. Like, they were really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Like, from the casting perspective, I probably end up picking a couple of them up just because I should be available to do that. Hopefully, we'll see.
And Pool Party was the Glacier Division champions, and they got to the finals. And then when we were getting together talking about who we should pair this time, Godson suggested we do Masters versus Athens because a lot of the players are pretty equal. And like Godsend and Snooze and Waddles and a few others, like they won multiple Glacier Division championships before. They should know like what level certain players are. Obviously, they're going to know the draft league players. I'm not going to know as well as they would. So like them having knowledge of both sides really makes it a little bit easier to figure out what we should try to do.
Agreed.
But yeah, games were insane last time. Like I'm pretty sure all the games went like 35 plus last time.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they were good games. Like they were all close.
And they weren't stomps at any point. They were all like back and forth the entire time and really competitive and really fun to watch. So
yeah, they were good.
That's gonna be like my favorite event of this year would be this one because we can now see it across 4 different levels and see if it worked. And if it works, then you can just keep doing it. And just continue to have this awesome amount of fun and giving more people more opportunities to win gym prizing and stuff like that. So that's awesome.
I know we have OSL signups are out because their next season's coming up, and there'll be links for that in the description for sure. So if you're interested in joining OSL as a draft league, we'll have signups. It'll be in the description of the podcast. You can always DM me or Majin. We can send those to you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know when actually, I probably do know. Let me click on this real quick.
Mod's like, I got no idea. Wait a minute.
I don't know. I was going to say, I don't know when it's going to end signups. Signups will end on August 21st. So you have 9 days to sign up for OSL. And they've already gotten over, I think, 250 players at this point. Last season, we had like, I think 380, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is compared to the first season. Like the first season that was like 250 or whatever, something normal, but then they blew up, like they had another 130. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, if there's even more signups again this time around, maybe there's a 5th division, or maybe they can add more orgs or something like that. I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens as time passes by.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on season 12 changes for AGL?
Yeah, I will mention first that signups have been out for a couple weeks now, and that they close on September the 8th at midnight Eastern. Relegations is only on one day this time around. The reason for that is Salt was planned on the same days we had planned Relegations, which is the 26th and the 2nd. And we had to make a change, and in order to avoid Thanksgiving week, we had to have Relegations on one weekend.
Yep.
So it's going to be how it used to be in seasons 4 to 7, to where it was a one-day event, 5 o'clock. You play like 4 or 5 hours, and then me and Glacier and whoever else at the time would have to get together for the rest of the night and figure out what makes sense and who's the most deserving and all these other things. So it's going to be like that again, and then we'll just start right away the next day as soon as we have all the information available. But changes for season 12. What the heck was that? Okay.
I know the big change is collegiate, where it's having its own Discord now, which is going to be better across the board. This makes communication with the collegiate teams easier for them, for casters, for admin, the whole nine.
So there's a couple reasons for this change for Collegiate. For one, it lets them, like you said, have easier communication with admins, with NECC or AGL. Because like in the AGL server, there's like 2,900 plus people in there. So like, when you have 1,000 people online, you can't necessarily find the right people you want to talk to. So that's part of the reason why we went to having another server for Collegiate specifically. We're also going to have the color background of the logo be the primary team color of the previous Division 1 winner. So Illini Orange just won, and the primary colors, we actually just switched it to the Northwestern purple, because I mean otherwise it'd be the normal AGL logo. So that's kind of like
confusing.
Like, got Kenny's meme. So
yeah. I gotcha.
Yeah. No, but it would be confusing if they're the same exact color.
I so might as well go with the Northwest purple. So we did that for them this time, and whoever wins Division 1 this coming time, it'll be their color. So for the next season. So but another reason too is because like it allows easier tracking for everyone, but for myself, because Ferendum ran the last 3 seasons for Collegiate, but he went back to go to his masters, so that means he can play again. So he's playing, so he can't be an admin or commissioner or anything.
Right.
So it's back on my shoulders, and I'm training people. I'm training commissioners, and I will eventually train someone to take that spot. I got a person in mind. I'm going to ask them later on, but to see what they think. But I'm pretty much just want to make sure this gets started off the right way and handled correctly, and I can just groom this next person, hopefully, to take that over full time. But it also allows us to make team roles for your team instead of just one singular collegiate role. So if you're Texas A&M Maroon and you can't find a captain for Alabama, you can just tag University of Alabama, and then there they are.
It also makes it easier on the admin side too, right? Because I mean, when I was helping set it up back in the day, like the big thing was you had to make sure like these teams have 3 players from one university, and they can have 2 other players from another university as long as it's in the same state. I think it's the way it was. I don't know if that's still the way it is.
And it's a little bit different now, but yeah, that's how it was.
And like tracking that when you're in the big AGL Discord, like we have spreadsheets and stuff for that, but like again, tracking all the people, one Discord just makes it easier where it's just theirs, and find out like, okay, everything's cool. I'm able to see all this information here. Is going to help.
Yeah, and then like the biggest reason we did this is like all those things were important, but the most important thing is it's actually because of teams being able to make contacts about their payout for winning first, second, or third in their division. So last season it finished before May, didn't get paid out till the end of June or middle of June, and that was a mistake on someone at NCC's side. We submitted everything on the 3rd of May, so like the week after the season ended, just to make sure we had everything good to go. We had the right contacts, everything. And Smite historically has not had a great showing of players getting paid on time, and we had just had another issue with that like 2 months ago in the pro scene or minor league scene or collegiate scene. Before that, I can't remember which one it was. So it was important to be able to have them be able to contact someone directly about, hey, we were told this, we're just inquiring, what's going on, like with this and that, etc. So it just makes it more streamlined for them and for us to be like, hey, this is a person that's working with the person paying out. This is the person actually doing the payouts. This is the leader of the NECC. This person's over in NECC on the Smite side for the NECC. And then you have, there's me as the owner / admin for Collegiate. And then you have this person commissioner, this person commissioner, this person commissioner. It's just going to make things so much more streamlined and easier for a lot of things in a lot of ways. So that's the massive thing. But also, like, the thing for normal AGL that's changing is, and there's a lot behind this, but we're going back to only having divisions of 8 teams. We're no longer going to have conferences, so the Tedlessness Conference winner and the Masters Conference winner will be the last conference winners we may ever have. The reason behind this is the last few years, the high-res community tournament license was not being applied properly by the people handling payouts. Multiple people over multiple years. So it's not just one person.
Right.
The tournament license says an organization can get up to funding equal to 10K in prizing, whether that's money or if Hyros is supplying gems. So regardless of if you're doing money or gems, that total is for the entire year. So we are this year, the last 3 years for us hasn't been an issue, but when you think about Volpa's having like 15 tournaments, because they have like 5 tournaments a week for
Right.
for NA, 5 for EU, 5 for LATAM. They have their own Conquest League as well. So there's like 4 divisions there, if I remember correctly. The gem amounts are just far, 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 far past what they should be allotted. And when I say they, I mean every org.
Yeah, everybody in general.
But there's only 4 orgs this year that are well over the cap. We're one of them. Vulpes is one. I believe Ice is one, and I think Smite Champions is the other one. So why that's important is because the discounted gem price was not the one being used for years. So that's 800,000 gems. That would equal 10K. The non-discounted version is like if you decided to go in and buy $5 worth of gems at the non-discounted price, which is 200 gems, that would be 400,000. So they have to determine, are they giving us 800,000 gems a year or 400,000 gems a year? Which is going to happen before 2024, we'll know. Like, there's a lot of meetings and things going on behind the scenes and whatnot. So the reason we're shifting back to 8 divisions or divisions, I think it'll be 8. We could run up to 10 divisions per season and still be under. But for us to be able to keep tournaments at 800K on the weekends and run 3 league seasons, we would have to give 200K to each portion. So 200K to the spring, 200K to the summer, 200K to the fall, and then 200K to those weekend tournaments over the entire year. So once you hit that cap, you're done. Like, that's all you could do in terms of being funded. And like, again, like if you put your own money towards it, that takes away from your cap. So like if you did $1,000 tournament, well, now you only have $9,000 worth of gems you can pay out for the season, for the year.
Yep.
So that's why we're shifting back to 18 divisions. And also, even more than that, like that's like the lesser of the 2 reasons. The better reason is like we just talked about the Glacier division, how close it was, right? Like the Narwhalaby division was the same way. Like a look at the top 3 were pretty close. Sherrix was pretty like it was like interchange every week except for like the top team. I'm pretty sure was like just like you know, like the number 1 team for Sherrix was 17 points. The next 2 were 14. The following 2 were 12, and
That's
then
not bad.
and then 6th place was 8. So like 5 points straight over the first 5 spots. You had ties for 2nd and 4th. So like divisions, it's just like a lot easier to place some of these teams that are a little questionable. Like, do we really allow X player to play in Sherrix when we know he's a Glacier player?
Right,
like,
right.
Is he like, would this Glacier player make this team too good for Sherrix, or would they not be good enough to carry them to wins by themselves? like there's a lot that goes into it. So this season, like that's why we had created the Kaiju division, which fell apart for 2 weeks. I mentioned that near the beginning. But that's why we created the Kaiju division so that we could like fix those kind of problems and have teams where they should be. But it makes putting teams in the correct division a lot easier overall. So, like a look was a conference the previous season, which was formerly known as Albion Conference for the 2 seasons before that. It was the top 4. The top 4 teams were always just clearly better than the next 12. So, like, we tried divisions this time; it just went way better. So, divisions for 2 reasons are just going to be way better for us going forward. And to answer Leone, it's one single.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't here for the ice comment about it being you unfreezing it. That's probably what happened.
Yeah. So, long story short, I usually put this in the fridge for an hour and a half, and then I get it back out because it's literally ice cold water at that point. And I forgot to do that last night, so I got home at 7 today, and I was like, "Oh crap! I left my water in there the entire night." So I drank this over probably 3 days, maybe 2 days if I'm like really, really thirsty. It's really, really hot all the time. But I have one of these at home. I have one of these at work. So I drink about one of these over 3 days. So those 2 will last me a whole week pretty much. But
we don't want to talk about how many of those I drink in a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I used to drink one of those a day. I had to stop doing that. I was overhydrating, which is a thing. You realize it when you feel better when you drink a little bit less. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess Salt signups are going on. If you don't know what Salt is, it's like the giant competitive amateur Smite tournament where you can sign up with any team you want. There's a huge payout. It's casted. I would say you might see me casting it, but that's not going to happen because I lost. But it's really sick. They have casters from SEC, SPL casters. The winner and second place finishers of the caster will be on there as well. And it'll all be streamed on SmiteGame over 2 weekends actually, because it's going to be the 26th and the 2nd.
Yeah, it's awesome. Signups open tomorrow. So the only caveat is you can only have one player from the SPL or SCC on your team.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can have literally anybody on your team. It doesn't matter at that point. So like, if you just 4 of your buddies like were friends with say like PBM, and PBM's like, yeah, sure, I'll play on it. Then like you couldn't have any other pro or minor league players play with you. But like you could do that if that did happen. But like honestly, like last time, I think there were 149 signups, if I remember correctly.
Something like that.
And they capped it at 128 to keep the rounds even. But they're not capping it this time. They're gonna let every sign up team play however it fills out. So but signups go live tomorrow. I gave the Discord link to Blaze, so be on the lookout for that as well. To get in there, ask questions. Luna and Aprilis are staff members there. The 2 of the main admins under Kaizo, who's a SEC caster. If you don't know him, also was my Warriors of Albion Athens captain for OSL. They did a really good job. Unfortunately, they got first rounded, but they had a really good season. But yeah, like so 2 of the AGL admins. There's other staff members from other orgs as well. I would help with it, but I can't request either of those weekends off, so I can't be a part of helping out, unfortunately. But It's an amazing tournament. 200,000 gems again, just like the last time in February. It's just going to be an awesome time, and you should definitely consider signing up to have a bunch of fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. It's always fun to watch.
Definitely.
And that leaves us with the last thing on the list, Majin.
Oh, there's a last thing?
Yeah. It's the 14th of August, which we've kind of already talked about, and the 28th of August.
Mm-hmm.
Albion Giants will be live on SmiteGame.
Yeah, so the 14th will be... so we've actually been doing this for 2 months. The 4 orgs. We're doing a rotation on Monday and Tuesday from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. So we've had a bunch of Glacier matches casted there. I don't think I got a Masters one on there quite yet. We did a tournament. We did one of April's Conquest tournaments there on a stream. So like that one's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like this one coming up on Monday, the 14th, will be a Conquest tournament that she's running tomorrow at 5 p.m. EST. Yes, you did pop in the right time, April. So how you did that, I don't know, but you did great, buddy. I'm proud of you.
You literally said her name and she appeared within like 2 minutes. It was really impressive. I'm amazed.
April says our Conquest tournaments because I say they are her Conquest tournaments when she handles all the scheduling and everything. So you heard our? Maybe the Y was silent. I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. But 28th is going to be so I do this like once or twice a year. I ping everyone in the SmiteGame League Discord, which is like all orgs are there. So like us, Smite Champions, Vulpus, Iced, OSL, CSL, like you name the league or tournament organizer, and they're pretty much in there. So we have our staffs play each other at a Conquest tournament. So it's a 5v5 Conquest tournament. You can submit as many teams as you want as long as people are staffed for you. Caster production can go to any league that they have done work for. This started last year.
That means I'm a free agent. No, I'm just kidding.
technically, kind of just like Dalvin Cook sitting out there right now.
No, don't no. I don't want that press, dude. It has been that man's been on the decline. So, unfortunate, honestly.
So we're doing that again, and the semifinals and finals are going to be broadcast on our probably last Twitch broadcast of the year to SmiteGame. So we're gonna have fun with that one. We're gonna have all the different league, like whoever signs up. Like if you don't sign up, whatever. Like, but we had like 2 teams from AGL. We had a team from Salt. We had 2 teams from SDL. Valeria Smite League, which is in a European Smite League, actually won last time. And they're coming back. They've already signed up. So and we've got a friendlier time for them, 5 p.m. Eastern instead of like 8 p.m. I think was last time.
Hey, yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. So just come out and watch these 2 broadcasts, 7 p.m. EST on SmiteGame channel. Come show your support and have some fun. Maybe some gym codes involved.
Let's go.
Oh.
Other than that, it is worth mentioning MajinBuusha podcast is coming back.
Is it?
Yeah. So last season I got so busy with work and with IRL that I didn't get to finish out the season. But this year, not only am I going to be doing NFL for my podcast separately, me and Gage are going to have our little kind of show, a 12 gauge, about college football because he's really good with college football. And I have watched college football all my life, so I enjoy that as well. So we'll probably give out like 3 or 4 picks, and then I'll do my crazy, stupid $1 12-team parlay, ridiculous, never gonna hit parlay thing. So it'll be really fun. Excited to get back into that. Probably gonna either go live or record on a Friday or a Saturday, depending. It would have to be Friday if we do collegiate, but like we're talking about. But NFL for me, I could probably just do that Saturday night and record it and just post it, So probably do that.
Nice. I think that's all we got, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the host. You decide.
I mean, like, I have names of the week, but like, I could just save them for next week. There's not a lot.
Oh, I got. Hold on. I had one last week. Let me find it.
At least you didn't do what most people do and DM it to me. I'm like, there's a whole channel in the Discord.
Nah, dude.
Drives me insane.
I've been going, hey, DM Blaze names of the week.
Don't do that. Just put them in the channel. Make it easier.
Okay, so here's a couple of them. First one is Nudes for Dudes.
Oh my god.
This one is Sook for Skin Booster.
What?
Gank Me Daddy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. That's a good one.
I have too, surprisingly.
This one is I can't say this one on podcast. It's too bad.
There's some that are crazy, bro.
This one called Milker Mommy. Kid Kicker 69. And I have one more somewhere. All Nuts No Shaft.
Oh my god. Oh no.
I was saving them for this. Like every time I saw one, I like wrote it down or screenshotted it. And I was like, I'm saving it for whenever I get to come on with you guys, which I knew was like the next week.
I played an arena earlier and I had Wes of State Farm, Willie of State Farm, Daft of State Farm.
State Farm crew.
State Farm crew, dude. TFT has some wild names, dude. Like TFT lobbies are crazy. I had Sex Lord and Tampon Changer in the same lobby, and I could have dealt with either, never seen those names ever, and been okay. There was Nightshade Kush on Guild Wars 2 is... Oh no, that's the name of somebody... Is that Vio? I need to know, is this your character's name? Because I did not mean to read that. Thought Vaporizer is the person he hovered, and that's funny. There's Fiery Sharts, Wet Knees, Cheesy. Yeah, I'm not finishing that one. I'm good. I'm all right. No, I'm not. I'm good. Nope, I'm all right. There's your names of the week. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Took care of it. I actually did it. I'm not going to cover any of the gaming news topics this week. That'll be on next week's episode, but there's some bangers in there for sure. Other than that, on the way out of here, do we have any shout outs do you want to get to, Majin?
Man, you had to hit me with that. I wasn't prepared for it.
I know, right? Always does it to me too.
I was totally not thinking about it. I just want to... I can't say the person's name because it's we're not supposed to say who's doing things for like gems and stuff in the background.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep, definitely.
Stuff. But I want to give a shout out to that specific person because like they just started doing this last December-ish when another person was leaving doing that. And the people that have been doing the gem pricing, it's all been like their secondary work assignment or tertiary work assignment. Right. It's never been like somebody's focus. And so like this person got with me 3 weeks ago and was like, yo, I want to sit down. You've been doing this the longest. Everybody goes to you about everything anyways. So I want to start with you and we'll like figure out what we can do. I'll explain everything that's going on, which is like the whole gym thing I spoke about a little bit. And like come up with some ideas, solutions, thought processes, payout models. I was giving payout models that he has had to do. So like that person's like they're working their secondary job as hard as they can, and like they've had a lot of disadvantages too. Like the ticket system didn't work. And so they went to a new ticket system, and then that ticket system wasn't sending messages that there were tickets. So then they went to DM only. Right. Then they were getting flooded there. So they're like, okay, how about this Google Form? So they went to this Google Form. So then like they've had like a lot of disadvantages, and I just want to say like a lot of like respect for having to go through all that and to be able to like treat their secondary job as a primary. Yeah. And I appreciate, and this person's been around a long time in the community, like 7-8 years. people probably know who they are if I said the name, but I'm not I can't, so I'm not going to. And I think my camera did the thing again.
It did. I was just going to
shout out to whatever company made this crappy camera line that keeps doing this every single time.
No, I know who you're talking about. I mean, they do a lot of work. I mean, and they care about it. I think that's it comes through in all facets of the work they do. And I think that's what's really awesome about it.
I'm sending this to you before you send it to me, Kenny. Fuck you.
Oh my goodness. Bats, you got any shout outs?
Like always, I got shout outs to listeners and everything like that. Like Blaze and I have been doing, well, mostly Blaze. I've just been here, but we've been trying to stream to different places and everything like that. We definitely love opinions, comments, suggestions, questions, everything like that. And I'm gonna throw this out there. Shout out to Pair of Thieves because I really do love their clothes. And look, I honestly hate Blaze for telling me about it.
They're so comfortable, bro.
They are comfortable. It's I'm like, other clothes? Throw them bitches out. Like,
it's crazy.
I don't need those.
I just keep coming home and I'm just like, put on a pair of Thieves. They're so comfortable, dude.
They really are.
Here's the deal.
It is ridiculous.
If you get the shirts when they're on sale, the shirts are like $7.50 or $10. You're not getting. I promise you, you are not getting a shirt as comfortable as these for that amount of money.
Their shirts are comfortable too.
And I am not sponsored.
Yeah, no, none of us are.
Like, none of us are. But I would love. And look, if Pair of Thieves, wants to sponsor us, me, Bats, whoever. I mean, I'm down. I did email them asking about that, but I received no reply.
I love their socks too. I'm a big sock person, and I love their socks.
So, but Maj, I'm telling you.
Well, they should.
Dude, everything is just so comfortable, dude. It's just crazy.
I've been trying so hard.
It really is.
Get another AGL jersey out. People that don't know, the original Albion Giants went through Arma, so you can still buy that jersey, but that goes to whoever owns Albion Giants now, which is Memory. That doesn't go to us at all.
Yeah.
So and it just has Albion Giants. It's to have an Albion Giants league. The problem has been we can't find one that gives the right amount of customability with the right amount of price with the right amount of quality.
Do that with Pair of Thieves.
So it's either really good quality, really high price, and long time to design, and an okay design at best, or it's you could have the best design. You could design yourself if you want to. You could have it shipped within a week or so, but the pricing is good, but the quality is not. It's not horrible, but it's not the best. So it's kind of been. It's been difficult because for one, I don't want to spend $75 on it myself, right?
Yeah.
$8 is a one-time buy, I get it, but I don't want to. So my goal was to try to find something around 50 to 60 that's reasonable enough, but gives us enough customization because we wanted to do maybe for Pride Month we could have the sleeves be Pride or the collars or whatever, just different ideas, giving us stuff like that for different communities, maybe pink for mental health, for breast cancer awareness, things like that. But it's been difficult trying to find the right place to do it with. So just maybe they could pick that up. We could look into that.
I might have a contact for you. I'll have to look into it though, but I'll get back to you.
Yeah, Blaze and I have been trying to figure out to make t-shirts for a while now.
Bats wants FAFO t-shirts.
I do want FAFO t-shirts,
really bad. So we gotta work on it at some point. I'm to a point where I almost bought a t-shirt press where you press the things on, you make them. And obviously what I do then is I just order really comfortable shirts for $7.50. And then I just stamp it on there. Anyways, that's a story and thought process for another time.
I'm not against that one either.
I'm not against that either. That just came to me, and honestly, that might be the best idea that I've had on the matter. But as we wrap up this episode, shout outs to Dare Drops. Been doing a lot of work over there. Did a lot of stuff with Super Rap Boat together with Bats. Completed several dares, submitted a review. You can find that on YouTube. And I've been streaming on TikTok for them as well. That's been going decently so far. Go follow on all the socials. Go follow, TikTok, YouTube here on the Twitch, all that stuff. We're posting content regularly all over the place. Along with that, shout outs to Guardians Mental Health. I am working with them on something that is coming in the coming months, and I'm really, really excited about. And when I can talk about it, I will, but I'm really, really excited to be working with them on some things. And overall, I just hope everybody's doing well. Take it easy. And we'll see you for episode 121 next week.
Peace.
Let's go.
Peace.
Ludo.
Put my marker there for when I have to edit this on the Twitch VOD to download it and then post it tomorrow. So I can get it on YouTube. Fun facts of the day. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to have Bats' face as my screen for a moment. And honestly... Oh, that was so good. Oh,